Hey techies, welcome back in Tech IVP channel. So techies, today we are going to discuss about some of the important interview question which is related to the manual testing and the automation testing. So let's start. But guys, going to before next step, please like, share and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview questions. So these are the question and we are in the part of 6. Okay, part only 5 series we have already covered. Okay, you can check out these all series so that you can get better understanding. Okay, so now we are in the 6th part, so let's start. So the first question is, do you know exploratory testing? Exploratory, guys, focus on this word. Exploratory means explore the things. You can explore the things. Okay, tests that are carried out while exploring an application. Exploring an application. Okay, exploring an application. Just give me a moment, my pen is not working. Just wait. Okay, so exploratory means explore the things in the application. Okay, here we are just exploring the things. Okay, and learning about the business requirement are called exploratory testing. These tests are carried out by manual tester without referring to any test case or test scripts. Okay, means where we didn't have any SRS document. SRS we have already discussed in the last video. You can check out this video so that you get better understanding about the SRS. What is SRS, BRD, FRD, FRS? Okay, in the last tutorial we already discussed about. Okay, so whenever we have no SRS, okay, so that time what we can do, we can perform exploratory testing. We can just explore the things. Okay, exploratory tests are carried out by experienced software tester based on their previous testing expertise. Thereby test cases are designed during the test execution. Test steps carried out should be noted in case of any defect found during the exploratory testing, as there is no test case and test steps written to carry out the exploratory testing. So whole meaning of this sentence is, once we have no SRS, no requirement document, so that time we can perform exploratory testing. Got it? Okay, the next question is, what is prototype? What is prototype? Prototype is an application with limited feature. Prototype gives an idea of how software is going to looks like. Input pages, output report, ready to get feedback, and end of the flow. Okay, so we have multiple type of the prototype. First one is horizontal prototype, vertical prototype, throwaway prototype, evolutionary prototype, incremental prototype, and extreme prototype. Prototype means what we can just develop a software and share with the client to check, okay, is it as per requirement or not. After that, once everything will be fine as per the client, then we can do the programming in this one. But there are some limited function. Okay, you can click, you can submit something like that, but actual function will not work. So it is just a dummy software. So in simple word, what we can say, that it's a dummy software we can provide to client. Got it? Dummy software we can provide to client. Okay, the next question is, what are SDLC phases? So the SDLC means software development life cycle consists of the following phases: requirement gathering, design, coding, testing, development, support. Okay, requirement at the first level, what we can do, SRS. Then we can design HTML, we can use HTML. Okay, then programming. Okay, then perform testing, and then deploy on the production environment. And after production environment, there are some changes, will provide support. How this software will be work. Okay, list some of SDLC model used in software development. So there are the waterfall model, iterative model, V model, spiral, big bang, agile model. Okay, so basically we have two types of the model: iterative and sequential model. sequential and iterative model. In sequential model is waterfall model, V model, okay, and in iterative and incremental model is agile model, okay. Let's move to the next question. What kind of review are conducted during SDLC phase? What kind of review are conducted during SDLC phases? So software peer review, first one is peer review is a detailed examination. Peer review is a detailed examination of low level peer review, okay. Peer review is a detailed examination of low level, high level design document by one or more individual working on the project to find and resolve error or defect in application during early stage of the SDLC. Second one, code review. Third one is programming, peer programming. Fourth one is software management review. Fifth one is software audit. In the code review, review the code by peer developer. Peer means TL and the senior or junior developer will sit together and review the code, okay. Peer programming is a process of same portion of the code developed by pair of the developer individually and the most efficient code is finalized, okay. Software management review, the project head verify project progress, status of the plan and their status, infrastructure allocation to test and develop application during the management review, okay. Then software audit. Software audit review is an independent examination of product, process assessment and compliance to the specification, okay. The next question is, what is the role of metrics in testing? The software testing metric is a quantitative measures that helps in estimating progress, quality and well-being of the software testing effort. This helps in improving efficiency and effectiveness of the software testing process. Got it? The next one is, this is really lengthy, but yeah, also I will discuss with you, okay. What are the key challenges while testing a software application? So this is really important question. Most of the time interview ask what kind of challenges you face. Important. Most of the time interviewer asks this question, what kind of challenges you face in the software testing once you are testing an application. So that time you have to just mention the things: test entire application, relationship with developer, regression testing always under time constraint, okay, which test to execute first, okay, understanding requirement and decision of the stop testing. First one, entire application. It is virtually impossible to verify entire application with each and every scenario, okay. Relationship developer, tester responsible to check for any defect in the software and how break application it becomes to the keep aim capable relationship with the developer, okay. Then you have to perform the regression testing. Then regression testing in every build released developer test has checked entire application end to end functionality every time along with the resolved defect component or the unit that are to be integrated. Means everything should be properly connected through the interface, okay. Testing always under time constraint, okay. There is a constraint, time constraint is a more important factor in the testing. All the stakeholders keep an eye on how the build has came out, okay. Tester has quickly start testing and build with sanity test, smoke test, regression test. Already we discussed these terms in the last video, okay. You can check out these all videos so that you get better understanding what is the smoke test, sanity test, regression test, okay. And send observation there as soon as possible, okay. Test which test execute first based on the available timeline and complexity of the models. Test lead has to distribute testing like user interface or a feature testing using script automatically, and regression and integration test manually. Non-functional testing tools like load runner, API testing using the Postman, rest assured, regression test using Selenium Mobile and the APM, okay. If there is any requirement of the manual, then we can go with the manual testing, or else we can use automation. automation we can use Selenium and the mobile application. For the Selenium and APM mobile testing, I can create a separate series. Okay, so this series is purely for the manual testing. Okay, next jump to the next question. Explain your view about quality. So we already discussed about the quality. What do you mean by quality? Okay, so interviewer asks, explain your view about the quality. What do you mean by quality? We already discussed about the testing and the quality in the first video, in the first tutorial. We also already discussed about this one. You can check out this video so that you can get better understanding. But here for the answer perspective, how you can answer. So in that case, you have to answer software quality work begins before the testing phase and continue after the software is delivered. Simple answer. Okay, because quality will be start before testing. Developer build quality code. Okay, developer do the quality code, then we have performed testing, and after the testing, quality will be still continuous on. Okay, after delivery. Okay, the next question is, what is the advantage of using any bug tracking tool? Main objective of using bug tracking tool is to deliver high quality software product by keeping track of defect discovered and track these defects till it gets resolved. Improve return on investment, ROI. Most of the time interview asks, what do you mean by ROI? ROI means improve return on investment by reducing cost of development when quality produce is developed so that it will have more reliable quality product, satisfied customers with long loyalty. Product and project team can keep a track of defect issue earlier and understanding defect trends on going on software development. Better communication, teamwork and community amongst stakeholders about software quality. Okay, the next question is, explain about website usability testing. So usability testing means how much website is usable. Okay, website usability testing is to measure the understand how web page visitor would be experience navigating website to verify its feature. Okay, how soon, how much easily navigate from one page to another page, and how much easily user can access the feature. Okay, accomplish their task and any pain point of the doing so. Okay, the next question is, what are defect attribute? Various property in order to measure defect quality or nature in software can be known as defect attribute. Defect attribute are the properties that determine extent of damage due to defect on the software application. For example, severity priority. Severity priority we already discussed in the detail in last videos. Okay, in part 4. What do you mean by severity and what do you mean by priority? Okay, so you have to check out this video. So type of the defect and some of the example are these are the example. Okay, so simple mean is here various property of the order. Defect attribute. Defect attribute means severity and priority. How much it's critical, how much it's critical for the functional behavior, how much critical for the business perspective. So this is defect attribute. Okay, what is pesticide paradox? Pesticide paradox is a principle. Is a software testing principle. Guys, keep in mind, pesticide paradox is a software testing principle wherein same set of test case is executed again and again over interval of time. Then test case are not capable to identify new defect in system. In order to overcome this effect, the set of test case regularly review, revised, make them effective. Means the same test cases you have to be gone through, you can't find any new bug. So in that case, you have to be again update your test case every time. It's called pesticide paradox. Okay, explain V model. V model is a V model. Okay, V model is a SDLC model. Okay, where software developed instead of moving downward like waterfall, move downward then backward, upward in V. Firstly downward. Okay, requirement, then design, then development, and then test, and then execution. Okay, this one is called V model. In detail we can discuss in the upcoming tutorial how V model looks like. Okay, how it's work. Okay, but for the time you can just go through the definition. V model is a sequential model. Okay, it's just like a waterfall model and it's in a V shape. Okay, got it. The next question is, what is the difference between web application and the client server application? The client server application is distributed on the least two systems, client and server, where client has visual page like input form, validation of valid data before sending request to server, and output page as responses from server. Server has all business logic, database storage where request received from the client machine and respond back to the processing through logic database tables. Okay. The next one is web application. Web application are built in one server where in all front end files, all front end, sorry, not front, it's a front, okay, spell mistake. It's a front end, okay, server with the all front end files, back end and processing logic placed on the single web server. Various technologies such as HTML or ASP with JavaScript or JS libraries are used for front end design, whereas back end storage and processing is done on the server in a class, files and DB procedure and tables. Web applications are accessed using the web browser, hence it requires internet in the addition of web application file placed on web server. Example of the web application has Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, online portal, Gmail, Savan online music streaming service, etc. Okay, these are the web applications. Okay, what do you mean by localization testing? Already we have discussed about the localization testing in the part 2, so you have to check out this one also, so you get understanding. So the localization testing is a validating software that is customized for user for specific language or the country. The software which is customized for specific country or user. Okay, suppose we are in India, okay, and we are building some application and our native language is Hindi, but we are developing an application for the Japanese. So the application we should build according to the Japanese language. Okay, so this means localization testing is validating software is customized for user specific or a language or a country specific, where the user interface will be displayed English and translate it into the country specific local known language. Is called localization testing. Okay. Next question, what is the difference between black box testing and white box testing? Already we discussed in the last tutorial in part 5. Black box where we didn't meant about the internal structure of the code, and simply white box where we consider the internal structure of the code is called white box. Okay. In case of white box is mandatory known internal of software application, where black box do not need understanding about internal structure of the application. Got it? Next, what is the difference between authentication and authorization? Really important interview question. Most of the time interview asks, what do you mean by authentication and authorization? Authentication is verify logged in user genuinely. Okay, in real world where we are required to show photo identity documents such as Aadhaar card, driving license, PAN card or passport in order to receive documents addressed to you from courier, know your account and balance at your bank is called authentication. Okay, and authorization, you are able to access this thing. Okay, authorization, it verifies model access. Okay, authentication means you are genuine, and here access, you have privileges to access this application, access this feature. Real life example are the you are allowed to explore feature of the application based on your trial period. Once you become registered by the paying register fee, you can access more feature of the software. Authentication means you are genuine user. Okay, you are genuine user. Okay, and authorization means you have permission to access this feature. So this one is a really important interview question. So most of the time interviewer asks this question. Okay. Next questions, other than the functionality, what else you should test in web application? In addition of the functionality and feature testing, we should test browser compatibility, security test for the authentication and authorization, right? Latency, how long to take load web page or request to come back response, load testing, based on the number of users logged in during the peak hours and scalability. Got it? How you know that testing is enough? The criteria and conditions are specified in exit document that guides us on when testing should stop. Okay, when most of the blocker and critical bugs have been resolved and application, when keep in mind, when blocker and critical bugs has been resolved and application has performance in acceptable limit, we can stop testing. This is however based on the some risk that have to be undertaken and time limit. How will you test the report? It is important to prepare report on the testing activity. How will you test the report? It is important to prepare the report on the testing activity, and there, just give me a moment. Okay, so how will you test the report? It is important to prepare report on testing activity and their end result on the regular basis to management. It helps to analyze quality of the test product, and based on the end result the decision of release product or hold back. It is quality improves can be taken instead of oral confirmation or denial about the software quality discussion. The report gives you written evidence of the test status. Summary of defect log into the bug tracking system. Got it? Number of test cases carried out and the test method, what steps taken, deviations observed between actual and desired expectation. Got it? The next question is, what is database? Which database you are aware? What is database? Which database you are aware of? So database is a collection of data that can be accessed, referred and manipulated in order to use in an application. It is a collection of data. Database is a collection of data that can be accessed, referred and manipulated in order to use in an application. Relational database, NoSQL, cloud-based data, cloud database, distributed database, object-oriented database, graph database type. You can inform these all, okay? But it totally depends on your experience level in which type of database you have worked, okay? Can you name some of relation database? Some example of relation database are SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, IBM, DB2, Postgres, SQL, okay? Can you name some of NoSQL database? Okay, so it totally depends on you guys. If you have knowledge about this one, so you can answer, else you can directly say that I have no knowledge about the NoSQL, okay? Elasticsearch, MongoDB. So these are the database. HBase, Keys, Kendra, okay? So if you have knowledge, you can just answer, else you can just say no, okay? Can you name some of the cloud database? Okay, yeah. Amazon, S3, RDS, DynamoDB, Redshift, SAP, Azure. These are the cloud database. Okay. Can you name some of the distributed database? Yeah. Terra database, Exa database, SAP, HANA. It's HANA. It's not HANA. It's HANA. Okay. The next one. Can you name some of the object-oriented database? Yeah. Smalltalk, Lisp in GBase and COP in VBase. Lisp in GBase and COP in VBase. Okay. Can you name some of the graph database? Neo4j, Amazon, Neptune. What is database testing? Database testing is a testing of the database entities such as schema, table, views, trigger, store, procedure, partition created on the table, indexing. We should be proficient in SQL queries. So guys, you can, if you like, share and subscribe this channel and comment for your query, so that I can create separate video on your queries, how you can carry out the testing. Also soon I will create a separate series for the database testing, how we can perform the database testing and what are the significance of database testing in the test execution, what things you have to be checked in the test execution in the database. Okay, so don't forget to comment your question in the comment box. Okay. and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. The next question is, what do you mean by cookies? Cookies are small text file that contains web visitors that contains web visitor information such as website explored, pages visited, visitors IP address to identify already visited users. This means cookies. Okay, so most of the time interviewer also ask, how do you check the cookies? So you can say simple answer. You can check contains visitor, website visitor, how many times visitor are coming here, how many times visitor are, what action he was performed, and what accessories or features they will be accessed. Okay, so this one is a simple answer. So I hope guys you get understanding about the some of the important interview question for the SDET role. Please like, share and subscribe this channel to get more amazing stuff about SDET role interview question. Goodbye, have a nice day.